Because we got these signs over here with this information on it. We're trying to teach our people. What we out here to do? What's your name, bro? Adrian. I'm Eleazar. We doing Adrian. We out here to teach our people, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, that we are God's chosen children, the Israelites. Right. And as being Israelites, we have certain rules that we have to follow. You know what I'm saying? But first, in order to understand that, you gotta, because if I ask you right now, what's your nationality, what would you tell me? Hispanic, right? Let's look at this sign over here. This is our sign right here. So, on this side of the sign, we got what the Most High God called us. On this side of the sign, we got what we're being called today in captivity. So, on this side, which group would you say that you are on this sign? Mexican Aztec. All praises. So you would be from the tribe of Issachar. You know what you should be asking me, Adrian? You should say, prove it. Prove to me that I'm from the tribe of Issachar, that I'm an Israelite. Because you just said you was a Hispanic first, right? You know, Hispanic means property or pertaining to Spain. Right. Are you property of Spain? No. So you were the Hispanic. That's a bad thing to be called. That's a byword to be called. Let's read that real quick. Let me show you that. That's even in the Bible. By calling yourself Hispanic, you fulfill this prophecy. Watch this. 37.
Deuteronomy 28 and 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword.
See, a proverb is a wise saying, and a byword is any name outside of your God-given nationality. So what we're here to tell you is you're an Israelite from the tribe of Issachar, but what they taught you is that you're a Hispanic, property of Spain. They taught you that you're a byword, and that's what you've come to believe. So let's go back to 28:15. Now we're going to show you how we know that you're not a Hispanic, that you're not a Mexican. You know what I'm saying? We're going to show you how we know that you're God's chosen. Watch this, 28:15.
Deuteronomy 28 and 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Hold on, hold that. Give me 1 and 1 real quick. You can drop it. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 1 verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
So who was he talking to, Adrian? Who was Moses talking to right here? All of Israel, right? So now we're going to go back to 15. Read that. So remember the context. Moses is talking to the Israelites right here in Deuteronomy 28. Read.
Deuteronomy 28 and 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
He said in the future, it's going to happen. If y'all don't listen to the voice of the Lord thy God, what is the Lord thy God's voice? We're going to learn that. Hold up, give me a second. What's your name, bro? Josh. Josh? Yeah, come on, Josh. We already teaching our people that we the Israelites according to the Bible. I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Adrian. If I ask you what's your nationality, what would you tell me your nationality is?
Hispanic.
Hispanic. Same word, see? This is prophecy being fulfilled. On this sign over here, this is what God called us. This is what we would call in captivity. Which one of those would you be called today? Would it be a so-called Mexican? A Mexican, right? What we're going to show you today is that you're an Israelite from the tribe of Issachar, Josh. So we got Adrian right here. This is Adrian. We showing Adrian that we're the Israelites. So Adrian, tell Josh, when Moses was talking, who was he talking to in Deuteronomy? He was talking to all of Israel, right? So that's what we got to establish. God is talking to Moses is talking to all of Israel. This is what he's telling Israel. Read.
But it shall Deuteronomy 28 and 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
He said in the future, if you don't listen to the voice of the Lord thy God, read.
To observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
So the voice of the Lord thy God is his statutes and his commandments, right? So he told the Israelites, if you in the future, if you don't keep these commandments, what's going to happen?
That all these curses.
Are curses good things or bad things? Bad things, right? We both agree. Watch this. So he said, if you don't listen to his commandments, all these curses
shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Are going to come upon the Israelites and overtake them, right? So give me verse 46. So God told the Israelites, in the future, if you don't keep my commandments, these curses are going to come upon you and overtake you. And this is where we get into how we know that we are Israel. Watch this.
Deuteronomy 28 verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder.
So these curses are going to be upon the Israelites for a sign and for a wonder. What does a sign do? Inform. It's an indicating marker. It lets you know what something is, right? So he said these curses are going to be upon the Israelites for a sign or to let them know who they are and for a wonder. Let's see how long.
And upon thy seed.
Before we get there, what is a man's seed? What's a man's seed? If I plant an apple seed in the ground, what do I get? And so if a man plants his seed in a woman, what does he get? A baby. Is that your son? That's your seed right there, right? So he's telling the Israelites these curses are going to be upon your children forever. Forever. So here in 2021, we can look at these curses and say, this curses fit these people. These must be the Israelites, right? So now let's go back to 16. So we're going to get into these curses to show who the Israelites are today. By these curses, we should be able to, they're assigned to show who the Israelites are. Watch this.
Deuteronomy 28:16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city. Any city you go to, if you want to find the ghetto or the poverty-stricken area, what race of people do you look for? Minorities, which would be what today? The blacks, the Hispanics, Native Americans, right? So you don't go to the white neighborhoods and look for the ghetto, right? So, but Moses talking to the Israelites. Remember, that's what we got to keep in mind. The context is Moses talking to the Israelites. He said, cursed shalt thou be in the city,
and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Cursed shalt thou be in the field. Who was in the slave fields picking cotton and tobacco for free? The blacks, right? Who's picking fruits and nuts and stuff right now in Plainview? I mean Brownfield, I'm sorry. Who's picking what race of people are still picking for low wages in the fields today? Hispanics, right? Is it a good thing to pick cotton for free or to pick fruits for low wages? Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Like the same thing as a curse, right? So he said these curses were going to happen to the Israelites, remember? Give me 32. Watch this.
Deuteronomy 28:32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
So in slavery, who had their sons and daughters? Did they keep the families together in slavery? They gave it to, was it the same race? Did they give the black babies to other black people? Or another race of people? Another people. Read it again.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
What's going on at the border right now with ICE? What are they doing right now with the Mexicans, baby, right now, ICE? Taking them and putting them in cages, right? Is it the Mexicans taking their own babies and putting them in cages, or another people, right? Another people. Remember, God is talking to the Israelites, but who does it seem to be fitting, right? Read.
And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
Gonna cry all day. Why?
And there shall be no might in thine hand.
Because there shall be no might in thine hand. Can we go back to the border and say, hey, give us our babies back? In slavery, could they say, hey, master, you ain't taking my baby? No, it wasn't no might in our hand. All they could do is cry.
Right.
Once the babies are taken and put in cages, all they could do is cry, right? They don't have the might in their hand to go get it back. But remember, God is talking to the Israelites, but whose babies are getting taken? By another race of people. The blacks and Hispanics, right? Give me 48. We're just going to jump through some just to show you real quick. Watch this, 48.
Deuteronomy 28:48.
This is an important chapter because now you got to start putting the opposite side of the coin together. Watch this, read.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
So he said, Israelites, therefore shall you serve your enemies, right? So the key word I want y'all to remember is enemies, right? We got to remember enemies. Read.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
And God sent this enemy against us.
In hunger and in thirst.
Whenever you're hungry, who do you have to get your food from? Those girls, you got it from United, right? Who owns United? What race of people own United? White people, right? But God calls them what? What was the key word I told you to remember? Enemies, right? You pay attention over there? What's the key word? Enemies, right? What's it? It says in thirst also. So it rains out the sky for free. But if you collect water, you have to pay a fine to who? If you take if you get a drink of water out your sink, who do you pay your water bill to? Who's owned by?
Right.
If you get a bottle, if you go buy a bottle of Dasani, Aquafina, who owns those? But God called them what? Enemies, right? Read.
Right. And in nakedness.
In nakedness. When you want clothes to cover your nakedness, who do you have to get your clothes from? White people, right? But God called them what? Enemies. Right. They control the import and export of textiles. We don't determine, we picked all that cotton, but we don't determine who gets the cotton. The white people determine who gets what cotton. And if they don't want you to have it, they cut you off. We don't got no power over that. God said we don't got that might in our hands. Read.
And in want of all things.
Cool skateboard. Who did you have to get it from?
I got it from my brothers.
Huh?
My brothers.
Where did it ultimately come from, though? Who manufactured it? Who the company owned is by who? White people.
Right.
Your AirPods. White people. Your glasses. Who you had to get them from? Who get the white people? If you want a birth certificate, a death certificate, education, who do you got to go to? The same people, but God called them what? Read.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
And his enemy is going to be putting yokes of iron upon the Israelites' necks. Check out these signs right here. This is what happened to the so-called Mexicans and natives, right? You see these? They got yokes of iron on their heads and their necks. Who put them on there? Who put it on the so-called black man? Where is that? Who put the yokes of iron on the so-called black man's necks? It wasn't us, right? It was the white man who God called who? Our enemies, right? He said, so you're gonna have to go to all them you're gonna have to go to your enemies for all these things. Read.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
And he said he's gonna put those yokes of iron on your neck until he have destroyed you. Once he destroyed, he could take those yokes of iron off. So are we running around with yokes of iron on our necks today? No, we don't got no yokes of iron. The yoke of iron is on our brain now. Right. We destroyed. If you look at our people, we are destroyed people. Like we said, we inhabit the ghetto, and we proud of it. We rep it. We'll kill somebody for talking bad about our piece of slum. Don't talk bad about my piece of slum. I rep the east side. I rep north side. All that stuff. We'll kill each other over Colgate, Baylor, all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And we don't own none of it.
Right.
That's a mentally destroyed people. We are destroyed people. You gotta go? Wait, let me show you one more just to nail it home, because we got to understand who we are according to the scriptures. This is the most important information that you'll ever get in your life.
Right.
Because if you come up here thinking that you're Hispanic, you still fit that category of being destroyed.
Right.
You got to understand you're an Israelite and get with like-minded brothers and start learning your heritage, learning what you must do as an Israelite. Read this, 68.
Deuteronomy 28 and 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
He said the Lord gonna bring you to Egypt. Do you heard of Moses parting the Red Sea? This is what we read when they leave in the Red Sea. What were they doing in Egypt? They were slaves, right? So Egypt means what? He said, I'm gonna put you into slavery again. But let's let the Bible show you. Watch this.
Exodus 20 and 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
So what did he call Egypt? The house of bondage, or the house of slavery, right? So now when you go back over here to Deuteronomy, read.
Deuteronomy 28 and 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Or slavery again. Whenever we were brought over here in slavery, how did we get here? Did we walk over here? Did we fly a plane? How did we get over here? I'm talking about how did the blacks get to America? How did the Mexicans get to Spain? By boats, right? Ships, right? So read it from the top.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Oh, he said the Israelites. Remember, he talked to the Israelites. He said the Lord is going to bring you Israelites into slavery again with ships. Ain't that how we got over here? Ain't that how Mexicans got to Spain on slave ships? Read.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Remember, they was going to the promised land. So he said the same way I'm telling you this, you're not going to see the promised land no more. Read. How we saw it as a people. How we saw the promised land, Jerusalem. How we even saw Africa. You know what I'm saying? So he said, the way I'm telling you it's going to happen, if you break these commandments, you're not going to see your homeland. Read.
And there,
once you get off those slave ships,
ye shall be sold unto your enemy.
There go the enemy word again. Who do we say the enemy was? Who sold us into slavery? The same enemy, right? Read.
For bondmen and bondwomen,
slave man and slave woman,
and no man shall buy you,
and nobody shall save you. Save me, buy means to save or redeem. So he said, once you start making these commandments, you're going to be brought in slavery, and nobody's going to save you. We still in the land of our captivity today.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But remember, Moses talking to the Israelites. So before you leave, John, what's your name again? I'm sorry. Josh. If Moses said this was going to happen to the Israelites, if they break God's commandments, and we the only group of people in the world that this ever happened to, What is our nationality? Oh, what is it? Israelites. We the Israelites of the Bible. You know what I'm saying? That's the most important news, because you got to realize God loves the Israelites. Give me 76 real quick. I'm going to show you something how God feels about the Israelites. Read this.
Deuteronomy 7:6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
God said the Israelites are separate to him.
The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
He chose the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the people under those curses, to be special unto himself.
Above!
No, equal to.
Above!
All men were created equal.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So what you got to realize, Josh, you're not a Hispanic. The Hispanics are not above all people on the face of the earth. You good. The Hispanics are not above all people on the face of the earth. God said the Israelites are above all people on the face of the earth. So that's why you got to take your true identity as an Israelite and not a Hispanic.
Right.
Hispanic gonna get you killed. I'm gonna tell you straight out. You got to find yourself in this Bible. You're an Israelite.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.